Hello there.
Welcome back, my friend.
Hello, what have we here?
Jedi, we've been expecting you.
Knew I could count on you.
Hello.
Welcome to the rebellion.
Quite fun.
What is up, everyone? Hybrid here, and I am about to get on the road to go to AwesomeCon in Washington, D.C. I am so excited for this Comic-Con. They got Nathan Fillion, who is one of my most favorite actors of all time. I believe this will be his first convention appearance where he'll be sitting there signing. I know he's done San Diego Comic-Con for panels before, but him actually sitting there signing autographs is a dream come true to an autograph collector like me. I love him in everything he's been in, and this will help me almost complete my Firefly set. There's one or two more that I'm going to need after this con. There's a bunch of other autographs, of course. You'll get to see the going-ons as we are there. But I just gassed up. I like to start my trip on a nice full tank, and to top off the tank, in honor of Fig Fury, we have a gas station roller dog. If you eat enough gas station roller dogs and truck her over 1 billion miles every trip you go on, you too might grow up big and strong and handsome like Fig Fury. Let's go. We are stopping in South Somerset for a break and a snack and a drink. The rest area toy selection is kind of cool. We got some Lego Star Wars, a bunch of Funkos of younger Blitz transmissions. I think we're just gonna grab a water though. Got the Popeyes chicken sandwich. We've made it. We are parked in the parking garage. We're about a block from my hotel. We've got about 20 minutes till 7 and 8 o'clock when the con ends. I'd like to go a little bit today, and it's within like a 5-minute walk. So let's go to the hotel and get checked in and see how quickly we can get there. Just got to my room, and this place is awesome. So I chose this like king suite thing. It wasn't any more than like any other option, and it's just one person, so I'm like, get the king bed. This place is nuts. Door opens up and you're in this like living room, like sick, and then you like come through here and like they like loaded me up with like stuff and coffee and stuff, and the bathroom has stuff, and the bedroom is big, and like I'm a Hilton Honors member, so like my name's on the TV, and that's me. This place is cool. I like it a good deal. What's the view like? Well, that's an interior view if there ever was one, but whatever. Still, hear the sounds of the city tonight. I think we can get to the convention and have the better part of an hour. So we're going to make a quick run out, try and get the one autograph that I possibly could today, which is Jim Beaver, if he hasn't left yet. So all said, let's go. I guess this room's normally full. That's what I get for waiting until 1 hour left in the day to pick up my pass. I have secured my badge, and they told me I have to go to the merch booth to acquire some goods that come with it. Let's go. And just like that, we're at Comic-Con. Lanyard secured. Told the celebrities are down here. Well, apparently Jim Beaver has called it a night, so let's go wander the floor a little bit. The 45 minutes I had here today was very quick, but I acquired a gift for my mom and a little bit of B-roll footage. Let's go see if we can do something fun with the rest of the night. DC at night, unironically, is kind of a vibe, at least in like the touristy areas. Here we are at the building of the Treasury. That's sick. They're doing some construction stuff, so the pass-through is closed off, but it's still really cool to be able to get like this close to it. So, riding one of these scooters, so let's go see what else we can see tonight. The Washington Monument. It's pretty big. Here we are at the Lincoln Memorial, right up in front of it. Most honest friend America ever needed. It is crawling with people, which is bizarre as late at night as it is, but it's cool. Of course, the view leaving the memorial is nothing to slouch at either. That whole memorial pond. This is where Forrest reunited with Jenny. Here I am at the World War II Memorial at the Pillar of the Loser State. The fountain's turned off right now, which is unfortunate, but there's ducks. So, yep, no fountain this time of year. Still a little bit too cold, but this is a really cool one. I'm enjoying it so far. Just picked up a to-go dinner from a place called Doner Kebab. Google reviewed it really well, and I kind of just wanted something different than the normal fast food. It was pretty cheap too. Let's see how it goes. Don't get me wrong, I very much love my country, bumpkin, small town Ohio vibes, but it is nice trying something just a little different every now and then. In this city life, I couldn't do it every day, but tonight was definitely an adventure. I had a lot of fun riding those battery scooters everywhere. Gonna try new food. Just having myself a good time. So I got a baklava, and I got a lamb platter. Comes with one of the bready things. Got some Harry Potter on the TV in the little living room in the hotel. This is awesome. Well, the food must have been good. I'm a member of the Clean Plate Club. Anywho, I'm in bed now, still watching some Harry Potter. And that's where we're going to wrap the Friday segment. So thanks for hanging out. And we'll keep an eye out. We are going to go to the con tomorrow. Good morning, gang. We are visiting the car in the parking garage before going back to the hotel. I just dropped off all my luggage that is not going to be stuff carried by me at the convention. Just trying to lighten the load for later. We're going to go see what the breakfast looks like at the hotel. And from there, we're going to hoof it over to the convention center. It is 8:30, and the convention doesn't start till 10. I'm allowed in at 9:30 with my badge. So we're going to see what's going on. Maybe try and get a good spot in a line a little bit early. So let's go see what the happenings are. How's that for some breakfast buffet? Well, the breakfast must have been good. I'm another member of the Clean Plate Club. So, that said, backpack has 4 Funkos, bag has 3 Funkos. Looking to get 7 autographs today from 6 unique people. We're going to be in line all freaking day. So, from 10 to 11, Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk are recording an episode of their Once We Were Spacemen podcast. Great listen. So I'm hoping that in the 9:30 to like 10:30 window, I can hopefully knock out at least 1 or 2 of the other autographs from either the rest of the Firefly cast, or maybe we can catch Jim Beaver or George Takei. If we get George Takei like early, like before his line gets nuts, if it's not nuts already, that would be legendary. So kind of the goal, but let's get into it. And we are out. The Washington, D.C. vibes are really cool. I do like it here. And now we're going to go stand in lines for autographs all day long. These early hour vibes are kind of nice. There's not a whole lot of people here just yet, so you kind of not get shoulder checked everywhere you go. And now I have checked out my autographs and selfies. I had to trade in my QR codes. I used my VIP one-time line skip. So all those are normal folks, but I'm about 20 people away from him when he gets here in an hour. After the world's longest, most least informative line, I've met Nathan Fillion, who is super duper nice. Really, really happy with how these turned out. And after a very quick and pleasant time in line, I just met Jim Beaver. I met him a couple years ago and I got him to sign a Supernatural license plate, but now he has a new Bobby Funko. I had to have it. So, love it. And we have a pickup. It's going to be a hike, but my backpack's full and I'm tired of carrying this stuff. So I am going to go to the car and just take a minute. It's over an hour until I can possibly get my next autograph anyway. Everyone's doing photos. So yeah, I think we're just going to make a trip. The trip to the car has been handled. Things are put away. I've got my last 4 autographs to get, and I've got a little bit of time, so I found a Raising Cane that's on the way back. A little detour, but we're gonna grab a quick lunch. Place just has some cool architecture, spired buildings and old churches with the proper spindles and stuff. It's cool. Haynes was busy, so we got Chipotle instead. So I'd like to get in Summer Glau, Jewel State, and Marina Baccarin's lines, but they're not going to be back another hour and a half. So I think we're going to get in this line for George Takei. I just got my photo with Mr. George Takei, who's awesome. And, I got to him, and I was like, hey, how are you doing? And he's like, oh, I've been better. They had to sit me in this chair this go around. And just realized, they're getting older, but love the guy, And now we're back in the autograph lines. So I just met Marina Baccarin, who is super nice. They were moving her pretty quick just because she had a crazy line, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Now, we're going to try for George Takei's line again, I suspect. I suspect if anyone's going to go home early today, it's going to be him. So let's go get in. We just met George Takei, who's very, very nice. And now we're in line. We're going to get Jewel State and try for Summer Glau. They're starting to cap some lines, but I twisted an arm. And we just got Jewel State. I think they're trying to cap Summer Glau, but she's the last autograph that I need, and it's prepaid, so I'm going to try and twist an arm. We'll see what we can do. And with that, we finished my Firefly set, except for Adam Baldwin, but we'll meet him another day. This Funko, I'd heard some of the new ones have like a weird film on the plastic and make the ink smear a little bit. Thankfully, it only did it on my name. It's still a very nice autograph, one that I'm very happy to have. The con is dead. It is after close. It's about 10 minutes after 7, and 7 was the end of the day today. But that is okay. I got every autograph I came for, and now we're gonna go pay to get the car out of the parking garage. Hope that I didn't blow the budget too bad, and we're gonna start driving back to Ohio. So I don't know how much I'm gonna record on that. Let's go. Goodbye, DC. Beautiful city, you. I gotta say, I've had a couple issues with the con. DC is not the issue. I like DC. Alright, I am back home. It is actually Sunday afternoon. I got home at like 2 in the morning, and it was a late night. But I want to show you the haul and just talk about the convention a little bit. So, as far as AwesomeCon merch, I just never made it back to the table, so unfortunately my badge and lanyard is all I have this go around. I usually like to pick up a t-shirt if it's within the budget, and this time it just wasn't, and I didn't end up getting back to the table anyway. I probably could have done a t-shirt, but setting the lanyard aside to show off the only other thing I got beside an autograph. As you saw, I did get the SDCC 2016 Black Series Kylo Ren. This is the multi-pack that comes with the First Order banner and Vader's helmet, not on a pyre, just on a piece of plastic that is part of the packaging. Would have been cooler if they'd have given it, the pillar that it sits on in Kylo's room, but I digress. It's something I intend to review. It was a cheap pack. They were asking $45. I was just like 40 cash, and they're like, yeah, we'll do that. So, really, really cool set. Something I've wanted to pick up for a minute. So, that was it for the non-autographs. And now I brought you along on the journey, so I won't harp too long on the story, but the first autographs I got were, of course, from Nathan Fillion, who was being rushed a lot, but he was very nice, very brief conversation. I just told him the truth, which is he's one of my favorite actors. I always pictured him as more of a Hal Jordan than a Guy Gardner, but he won me over, and whatever the announcement was, which has come out today about Firefly, I'm just looking forward to it. And he's like, I am so nervous, but thank you for being here, and the announcement, of course, being that Firefly is coming back in an animated series, which is so super cool. I love that show so much, and it's been like 20 years, so I'll take whatever I can get, and the whole cast is back. So I got my Nathan Fillion autographs, and just really, really amped to have those in the collection. Legendary editions. I gotta say, his line was very poorly managed, and that's something that I will elaborate a little bit more on at the end, but I got very lucky in how it worked out in his line. A lot of people did not, so I will come back to that. But AwesomeCon could definitely make some changes, especially after they got me, for sure, with their poor management on Hayden Christensen a few years ago. But after that, I wanted to get the autograph on Friday night. He checked out a little bit early, because the final hour of Friday is usually slow anyway. But I finally got Jim Beaver of Supernatural fame. He is Bobby in Supernatural, a legendary character, the ultimate stepdad. And I've wanted this for a while. So I met him before at Motor City Con a number of years ago. And there was a Bobby Funko Pop, but it was an expensive Funko Pop, and I just couldn't swing it. So I had him sign an Impala license plate, which you may have seen last year at Fan Expo Cleveland. I loaded up on that Supernatural reunion. But I always wanted a Funko. I'll get Funkos of like the most important characters of the show, and Bobby's definitely one of them. So I had him sign in that Deco Color Gold that I really like using, and it pops. Have him call me an idiot. That's his go-to line on the show. Doesn't mean it harshly, and it's a good autograph. I like this one a lot. One thing, I experimented a little bit with my Nathan Fillion. I had him use a Deco Color Yellow for my Firefly auto, because I've used that in all the others. And then I picked a Deco Color Lime Green off the shelf for Guy Gardner, because I figured it would look like lime green. And it's like yellow with just a touch of green in it. I definitely should have gone for a bold green on that. But it still looks good, and it does pop from the figure. But yeah, I definitely think that could have come out a little bit better. Had I known what the paint pen looked like, I wouldn't have made that mistake. Now I know what it looks like, and I won't do it again in the future, unless I genuinely want that exact color. But I'm not mad about it. It's still a really nice looking autograph. So from there, I actually made a run to the car, put all these away. I came back, and I tried getting through George Takei's line, and I got about halfway through it, and he had to dip for a photo op, and which I left for as well. And so I got that photo op with him. I came back, and I was with I had made a line friend that was like, hey, I'll let you come back in and jump in line with me. And George was not back from his photo ops, and I saw that for the first time in the day, Morena Bacher in his line looked manageable. So I jumped in her line, and I got her autograph. She is absolutely as beautiful in person as she is in every show she's ever been in, and had to get her on Anara, working on my Firefly set here, and very, very nice, very brief conversation, but again, just talking about, man, whatever the reveal is tomorrow, I don't care if it's a video game or a comic book, or, after 20 years of nothing, I want something, and they all laughed when I would say that, so I'm really excited about this animated show. But very, very nice. Met her. And then I was able to go and hop back in line with George Takei, with said line friend. And it took forever. It took literally there was 20 people ahead of us, and it took an hour. And, but he was talking with everyone. So when I got there, he talked with me a little bit. And, fondly, George Takei, just a classic older generation of autograph type of writing. There a lot of time they just do the name, but I got the fondly message, and we talked a little bit just about legacy and stuff. Because when I got my photo, he was sitting in his wheelchair, and and then when I walked up, he's like, "How are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm good. How are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I've been better. I can't stand up anymore. I used to stand up for all my photos. I'm sorry I can't stand up." And he just looks a lot older than the last time I've seen him in anything. And I'm like, hey, I'm just glad you're sharing your weekend here. You know, we're all happy you're here. We all love you. And made me sad. I mean, you know, there's a lot of really amazing science fiction icons out there that might not be with us a whole lot longer. And appreciate them when you can. If they're going to the conventions, don't pass if you can avoid it. You know, go and say hi if you want to say hi. I'm glad I did. But no, we just talked a little bit about, you know, just how, you know, just this weird, funny little science fiction show from the 60s has done everything it's done. And, you know, it's going to be legacy, you know, because, like, people are going to talk about it forever, you know. I mean, I have a nephew coming, and that is going to be like my first nephew. And it's like, yeah, when he's old enough to appreciate it, I'm probably going to be like, yo, you want to watch a really weird 60s science fiction? And I'm going to pop on an episode of Star Trek, you know, and that's going to be however many generations long since it came out, you know. And, you know, I mean, there's going to be people that have made these amazing series that are going to be remembered forever because of that. So I, you know, it's kind of a weird thing to think about, but it's legacy. So from there, I got in Jewel State's line, and they did not want to let me in her line. It was 6 o'clock. There's only a couple people in her line, and they're like, it's capped. And I'm like, I've prepaid, and I'm not coming back tomorrow. And then I point out the fact that they're letting people pay cash. You know, I'm like, you're letting them pay cash. Like, I prepaid. Like, tell them to get out of line, you know. So they allowed me to get in the line. And again, it's like, it's a brief experience. You know, once you get there, you're only talking for a couple seconds. So you know, so I got my autograph, and the Everything is Shiny quote is awesome. Love that one a lot. And, but she's very, very nice. She's very sweet. And, you know, definitely got the vibes that Kaylee was not a stretch when it came for her acting. She seems really, really nice in person. And then same story, putting that up there, with Summer Glau. You know, she had a little bit of a line left, and they didn't want me to get in it. But I was like, come on, I prepaid. And so they let me in. And I got my River autograph. Also, something interesting, Funko's doing this new thing with some of their windows where if you don't prep it with a rubbing alcohol wipe really, really good before you get the autograph, it's like a oil in the plastic or something. It makes your paint pens like do that, like on the Forge Ake. And it freaked her out a little bit, but I was like, I prepped it really, really nice. I think I just didn't get up in this corner really good. And so the autograph came out really nice. Some of the other stuff is a touch fuzzy. And it's like, come on, Funko, fix that. Like, you know who your audience is. But anyway, it turned out really, really good. And she stayed a couple minutes after 7 to make sure everyone got their autographs, and it closed at 7. And so immense shout out to Summer Glau. And that is the autograph haul. And again, as far as other stuff goes, the Black Series Kylo was the only pickup. So it was like more of an autograph than anything else. AwesomeCon has really turned into more art than toys. There was a couple of booths with some figures. A lot of the stuff that wasn't art was the same old stuff you see everywhere. The same imported from China LED lightsabers and crystal Pokeballs, and which I've bought a couple of, but it's like not every booth needs to be that. A lot of fudge booths, as Michael Havens will say, is never allowed at ICCC. But yeah, it's definitely not one, if you're wanting to go and complete your Black Series collection, you know, it's not a great fit at AwesomeCon. But it's all right, you know, it's just what it's going to be. They get some good names for autographs, and my big thing is they really need to organize some of these lines a little bit better. So Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk were running a podcast from 10 till 11, and then from like 12:30 through 2:30, Nathan Fillion was going to be doing all these photo ops, you know, with different actors and group photos and the entire cast of Firefly, and I mean, huge sellout bookings on that. And so after the podcast, the schedule says, you know, from 11 to like 12, you know, 12:30, he'll be autographing. So when I got in the door, instead of getting in any lines that I could have to get some autographs, you know, the premium pass gives you one line skip. You see, they hole punched it. And I used it on Nathan Fillion's line, and I got to where I was only behind like 10 people in the line skip line for his line. So I was like spot number basically 11, and you know, an hour before he's supposed to even be autographing. And by the time 11 came, the line for him was insane. And 11 comes and goes, and he's still not there. And then 11:15 comes and goes, and 11:30 comes and goes, and we wave down an attendant. We're like, hey, like, is he still coming out? Well, he's on celebrity time. He can do whatever he wants. Well, has he said he's not? Well, we don't know what he's doing. Well, what do you mean you don't know what he's doing? Like, surely he's got, like, a handler, like, taking them from place to place. They're always walking with people that are holding the event, and y'all are wearing walkie-talkies. Why is there no communication? What's going on here? And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, man, if he doesn't sign before these autographs, I'm not getting my autograph from him until, like, after 3 o'clock. That's the first half of the day wasted. And and it's like I could have gotten some of my other autographs done. And by 3 o'clock, I'd gotten half of my autographs done because he came out at 11:45 and he autographed for like 20 minutes and they whisked him away. So I got my autograph. I was talking to a guy behind me in line, so I waited till after he got his autograph. And when he came out, he said, oh, yeah, I heard them say, 2 people back, this is the end of the line until after he comes back from photos. Like, we only just made it. And, and if we hadn't just made it, that would have kind of ruined my day because they were trying to not let me in some of these lines at the end of the day. And it's just like, man, like, have a plan, a communication, and it's just really, really frustrating, when you pay the extra for a perk and then you very, very nearly don't get to use it. And they're like not even trying to help you like a little bit. And then same for the lines for Jewel State and Summer Glau. Again, there's an hour left in the day. They're here till 7, and they're starting to say, well, we just want to make sure that they can be done. And I completely understand that. But don't prioritize these online pre-sales if you're then going to let people get in line with cash and let them take precedent over those of us that have done online pre-sales. Because that's what they were trying to tell me. They're saying, well, they were in line first. Well, yeah, but like I paid for this like a month ago and they haven't even paid yet. Like when you buy a concert ticket, do you want to go to the venue and then be told, well, the line outside is so long, we got to make sure they get in before we can honor your ticket? Like, no, like that's not how that works. So it's just some frustrating priorities ultimately. But I got everything I wanted. I found a cool action figure, and that's a win. I can't say the weekend wasn't a win. It was just there was just some things that this con does that other cons do better. And it's been like this the last time I was here, and it's the way it was this time I'm here. So I think it's just the AwesomeCon experience. You got to kind of pull some teeth and fight for it, but you can get the autographs you want. So that's all I got to say. Thank you for coming with me to AwesomeCon this weekend. It was a good experience. I generally really did like exploring DC. AwesomeCon was a little bit frustrating, but effective. As you can see, I've completed my autograph list. 7 autographs. That's an insane pull. Probably the biggest haul of the biggest autograph haul of any con I'll go to this year. But all the same, I'm going to go work on something else now. May the force be with you, and I hope you all have a good day. I'll catch you this week on Hybrid.